Hi guys, so we're going to be documenting the fire trades and trying to sort of give you another sort of outlook into how to profit into these and possibly fast track your way through a challenge, if that makes sense, all by doing it in a sensible sort of course of action. What I need to do, I'm just going to sort of share the screen. I'm going to use, instead of a smart money technique, it's going to be a smart trading sort of way. So I'm just going to share the screen. Just bear with me, and then I'm going to move over to my area. Okay. So what we have, okay, I mean, I've set 2 fire trades at the moment, and we've got our first buy area. Okay. We've got 2 areas that are open. Okay. And this is going to be on an FTMO challenge. Let's just see if I can sort of get this in. See if I can get this in, client area. So you can see on here, I've got the free trial ongoing at the moment. I am in on my second stage verification on one as well. If I just go to the metrics on this, this will show that we haven't closed. We're in a little bit of drawdown at the moment, $7. That'll be updated live on here. We're about $14, $13 at the moment. Little lag behind that, okay? We're going to see we've got a 500 of a maximum daily loss we can work with, a maximum loss of 1,000. But of course, we don't want to go into the 500 daily. The profit target for the demo is only $500. We're going to see if we can do that using the fire trades and using this method that I have. Now, the method that I'm looking at, okay, so I'm just going to let this play for a bit while I just go on to, let's go on to a new share and go on a whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to try and explain to you how we are going to be looking at the fire trades, what I'm forward testing going into this, and sort of getting more in-depth reports on scaling, fast scaling your profits. Okay, so a lot of things you see smart money, and you're looking at very minimal risk to a very minimal sort of stop loss areas. Okay, we need the markets allowed to breathe. Okay, so let's just imagine when you have got an area of a block. Okay, so let's say this is our stop loss area. Okay, and it's generally I work things on around about a 40 pip. Okay, it's around about a 40 pip on the stops. This just allows me to do a market breathing area. Okay, I look for a directional bias. Our take profit would generally be up to this area. Okay, now on that there's a level of TP1, TP2, and then the top level being 3. So that's number 3, that's number 2, that's number 1. Now each level I've got 20. I normally go with 40, and then on the very top of the shop, which they do come in regularly, but not massively. We get the odd 100 pip move. Okay, so what I'm looking at is price. Once we get an entry and prices moving, okay, sometimes you go into a little bit of drawdown. Now within that 40 pip move, okay, let's say you're risking, I don't know, let's say you're going to be looking at risking a 1.1. We're just going to round it up to be fair, right? So instead of having that as one whole number based upon that area, we look at the possibility that we are anticipating some drawdown. Okay, so in the stages in here, the 40 pips, you've got levels of 0 where it's going to be your SL. Okay, you can have say 10, 20, 30, and then you're 40. So each level, instead of it being a 1.0 based upon the entry of one area, we can break this down into stages. Okay, so let's say on this instance I've just done a 0.25. okay, so I've got a 0.25 on here, I've got a 0.25 on the entry, and as we go deeper, I've got different stages, taking in consideration that I'm anticipating some drawdown. Okay, so as price comes into here and we hit these levels, there is another entry of 0.25, when overall you were possibly going to ineffectively risk that on that one whole area entry. Okay, if you were to put this on there and it tanked out, okay, you're going to lose a lot more on this based upon the entry area there as what you would do opposed to staging your your sort of second base entries. The benefits you're going to have with entering in the drawdown stages of here is once it starts coming up back to the entry area, you're going to start having substantial profits. Okay, so these here are going to be in good profit as it comes back up towards the entry area. Okay, so once you start coming up to these areas back to break even, you can start moving or taking partials as it's entering on here and moving some SLs. Generally, when I get to a 20 pip marker, okay, so we come up here and we hit the 20 pip marker, I would move this SL up to the entry area. Okay, once we've done that, if you have come into the drawdown areas, okay, you are then moving profits up off the table from here as well. So there's a lot more goes into it. When you are staging into your drawdown, you've got to get your mind around it that yes, you were already in drawdown, but you are not effectively, you're not putting in this whole sort of risk onto one area. You're chopping it up into bits and you're bringing that breathable space into different areas. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the share on that. Go back onto share the screen on the main screen. Okay, and we can see at the moment I've got, like I said, 2 trades on the USD Swiss franc and the USD CAD. Okay, again, we have got entry areas down where we've got 0.25 going into the drawdown areas, and at the moment we are on about £5 or £6 in drawdown in sort of profit loss. But this has just activated. These trades have just activated, in fairness. Need to get this one, put it on the 1 hour. Let's get that right. Put the 15 minutes, and I want that on the 15 minutes. Right, we'll just make that bigger. Okay, might be best if I scroll out of that, to be fair. Right, so we can see on this one here, which is the USD CAD, we are in drawdown. It's starting to come down. It may activate the second sort of entry area. I've got 2 limit orders on this one. And again, I've got 2 limit orders on here. So this is coming into possibly the second one in play. And I only look at 1 or 2 trades a day. This is what I'm doing forward testing. Let's see how it plays out today. There is things I can put on here, which is an exit manager, but I'm going to be in front of the screens today just to see how they play. Let's see what we get out of this test and forward testing. Okay, guys. So by the time it gets to a little bit later, I'll come back on video. We'll see where we are standing on the FTMO challenge demo. I'm trying not to let this interfere with my second stage pass as well, because I'm actually trading on my verification stage as well. Hopefully I'll not interfere and mess it up on my verification stage. But I'm live trading as well as doing this via a demo as well. So we'll see what happens towards the end of this video. I'm just going to pause the video. We'll be back a little bit later. Hi guys, so one of the things I'm going to be sort of testing as well is what we call an exit manager. Ignore what's on top of here at the moment. There's reasons why I'm doing that. It's just I can't show obviously the brand that's on the thing, but we all have access to this anyway. From there, the exit manager is going to help us manage the trades if you can't be at the computer. I mean, you can see here at the moment we're now around about £10 in profit. It's all going well. From there, we're going to have, when we get to TP level 1, okay, which is 20 pips, I wanted to move the pips to break even, okay? pips above break even, I'm going to have it set to 3. Okay, so that means when we get to a level of TP1 of 20 pips, we're going to move the stop loss to a level of 3 pips of profit. Okay, take profit level, I'm going to have set at 20 pips because I want to close a 0.10 of the initial 0.25 lots off there. Okay, and that's everything set. We leave this as current on the time fractals, leave the time frame on current. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to save that. And we're going to call it the challenge. Okay, just going to call it challenge settings. So it's a challenge setting, save, and okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag that over again. We're going to load, challenge set, open. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll do the same on this one here. Load, challenge set. Okay, so now what's going to happen if we move it into 20 pips of profit, we're going to then move the SL to 3 pips of profit. Okay, but then we're also going to close off at 0.10 of our profits. Okay, overall we're around about £12 in profit. Let's just update this. And there, see, it's a little bit of a lag behind. We've got to get to $500. If we go back to the main screen, 100 pip move on this one's 272. 100 pip move on this one is 188. They don't always go there, but factoring in the price of, if we're going into a deeper sort of discounted area, we can then manage the trade. So even if these come into play, okay, the exit manager is then going to activate this on those trades as well. So if these move into 20 pips of profit, it's going to also stage us in. So this is going to be a great way of factoring everything in. It's a good forward test. At this moment, this may be going over a lot of your heads, but again, this is me put myself out there as the guinea pig to test. That's looking at things to make things structurally easier and better to implement. So because we already have the fire trades doing phenomenally well, okay, if I can flip everything on its head from a smart money aspect and get you thinking on how to smart trade as opposed to doing these sometimes ridiculous, very small stop losses as well, okay? If I can flip that on its head and let you have the allowance to let the markets breathe within those areas on the understanding that if we set an entry here and then it takes off and hits to take profit, then fantastic, it's done it all in one go. However, if we stage our entries from there and it's coming into a little bit of drawdown, because it doesn't matter when you trade, you're always going to come into an area where you're going to have some form of drawdown at some stage. And again, that's where these limits come in that breathable space. And then if it activates one of them and then takes off to 20 pips from a lower area, it's still going to move the SL of what you're doing to 3 pips above, if that makes sense. So method in the madness, we'll see how we'll go. But a pause video, we'll be back in a short while, see where we are. Okay, be back in a while. Right, so what I noticed is obviously I set my SLs and the deeper retracements, as you can see on here, but now we have them all set even on the buy limits on these as well. Okay, so let's just take a look. Yep, so I've got them all set in the buy limits. We're now at around about £8 or £9 of profit. I'll pause the video. We'll come back in a very short while, see where we are, see if we can get towards this or take a chunk out of this £500 profit for the pass on the FTMO. What I've done on here, it's classed as a set and forget. I've set me stall. Okay, we've anticipated the entry. We've got a stop loss. That's the breathable area. And instead of taking all in one go, all the eggs in one basket at the entry and wanting it to go there. We are anticipating we've got so many lot sizes to use. So we're going to integrate that into the breathable space. It's just like everything like expands and contracts. We just want to get that breathable space. If it comes into that field of play of the breathable space, we are allowing the strategic approach of breaking down, let's say chopping down the tree, you're breaking down what you want to ultimately get and putting it into stages, and you're expecting that retracement to come in, touches those. But again, we have got this exit manager to then help us to be able to contain what it needs to do. And if we get that deeper retracement and it enters that second stage entry, once that second stage entry one hits its 20 pips, it's going to automatically introduce that 3 pip above that entry. It's going to close so much of that profit out. But not only that, if it then goes to the first stage entry, okay, and then it supersedes over onto the 20 pips of profit on the other one, it's going to do the same on the next tier up from that as well. So again, this is method in the madness, and it may be going over your head at the moment, but let's see what today brings with these 2 trade calls out. It's what I generally do, 2 trades a day based upon in the fire trades. I want to see how this technique works, and then I'm going to upload the video a bit later today, okay? And then we may have a question and answers as well in the advanced chat on this. So I'm going to pause the video. Next time I come back, we'll see how it's been reacting throughout the day. So here we have it, guys. What's happened is our USD Swiss franc has hit 20 pips of profit, okay? So now that particular trade in itself has now moved DSL, the stop loss, to just above break even, and it's closed some of the profit off. As you can see here, we're now $22 in profit. So what I'm going to do, the USD Swiss franc, I'm going to close off, okay? We're going to close those trades off. And now we've got the USD Swiss franc now running at risk-free. If it comes back and hits us on the stop loss or on here, okay, if it comes back and hits us on the stop loss, let's just take a look. It's going to give us another $4.90 on top of the $22, okay? So that's a risk-free trade at the moment. However, our USD CAD on the other side of the fence was in good profit. Didn't quite go to 20 pips. What it's doing, it's coming back down to test us in the drawdown area. Again, I'm not worrying because we have got the implementation of the zone, okay, the stop loss area. If it comes down to then testing to the second stage entry and then wants to take off, it's going to give us a deeper discounted entry, and then it's going to factor in on the exit manager 20 pip profit, not only from the upper tier entry, but it's doing the 20 pip profit from the second tier bargain discounted area, okay? As long as this holds structure and it gets a bounce off this area or this area, we're just coming deeper down. Yes, it can play on your mind, but it's the emotions and things like that. You've got to understand, as long as you put in the risks, like on here, 0.25, we've sectioned it off. Instead of putting a 0.8 or a 0.1 on that one entry on the higher end premium price, we've staged our entries in on the understanding that if we do go into drawdown, which 80 to 90% of the time you're going to experience anyway, why not edge your bets and stage your entries coming into those breathable areas of your entry to stop loss, and stage the entries in there as well to become more of a smart trader, as opposed to doing the smart money concept, which is going to be a very super tight stop loss where you are risking these higher end lot sizes, you know what I mean? So where we are at the moment, hopefully by now this is sinking in. On the left hand side where I've got my head, my excellent Geordie face here, we are now in a risk-free trade, okay? We have come down and we are testing on the USD card. So let's just take a look. The USD card, we were as high as here, the entry down to the entry, we were in profit on pips. Let's get this right, John. we were in about 15 pips of profit, you know, 13 or 14 pips of profit. It's coming back down into the drawdown area. I'm not worried at all with this because I know this works. You've just got to flip everything on its head and understand that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. We've got to understand the nature of trading. You are always going to experience some form of drawdown. So instead of having those super tight stop losses and putting a risk of one lot size on that one entry area, why not stage it as, if you do get the drawdown, you're staging the multiple lot sizes on the way down to its lower entry, okay? Because overall, if you have a one lot size here and you're going to go to here and it's going to go bang and stop you out, you're going to lose a lot more on that movement than what you will if you stage in these limit orders, okay? So I hope that makes a bit of sense. Again, overall, we are looking at around about $163 of profit if this was to go the whole 100 pips. We've got multiple entries on these as well, you know. So again, I'm going to hold it. Hopefully this one will hold its structure. For the video purposes and forward testing purposes, I'm hoping we get drawdown into this area to bounce off to get a second stage entry. So then as we are testing, we can move forward, and I can show you exactly what I mean by this and how we can implement the exit manager and being able to say, yes, we're staging everything in, but still, as we go down here and we're quartering everything off, we come here, even though it bounces here, we still get a 20 pip movement from the second stage. It's still going to implement getting us out of the trades. I hope that makes sense. Again, I'll be back in a short while just to see what happens. The reason I've just jumped on now was just to tell you about the USD Swiss franc hitting the 20 pips. It's banked us a little bit of profit. And we do on the FTMO, on the challenge that we're doing, it's a 10K challenge. We only have to hit the $500 profit, okay? I'll be back in a short while to see where we are by the end of play. Okay, guys? So I shall see you in a little bit. There we are. So progress report, we've closed obviously the old buy limits on the USD Swiss franc because we are now in the 20 pip of profit from the first entry, and we've got just above the stop loss. So not only have we got $22 of profit banked, if this was to come back down and obviously hit the stop loss where it is at the moment, it's moving the stop loss with the 20 pips, if that makes sense. So as it's staging up, it's also moving the SL. So we've got a further just under $5 to go on top of that. Okay, we need to get a $500 profit. At this stage, again, I'm happy that this is happening on the right-hand side of the fence, which is the USD CAD. We are staging again, as I say, that breathable area. It's come down. We are in drawdown on entry one. Entry two's bounced off our staged second entry, and that is in some nice little bits of profit at the moment. If that was then to go to 20 pips of profit, it's then going to move that buy limit to just above break even, okay? The stop loss just above that break even. It's going to bank so many of them pips. But then again, if that continues to go on through the first entry and that goes to 20 pips, that's then going to move that profit. And so there's a rolling domino effect, okay? Again, we're doing absolutely fantastically well. It's going good. We've had two sort of scenarios where we've had everything staged on A, staged on B. We've come in, slapped A right in the face, and then it's went to 20 pips straight away. Fantastic. The test couldn't be going any better, to be fair, because on side B, which is just over on this side, which is the USD CAD, you can see it has actually gone up. It went for around about 15 pips, but then it's come back down and it went through into drawdown, slapped the second entry, and now that's on its move, on its way up. Again, overall, on the three entries that are there, there's a good 20 pips, a $20 profit there, which would stage us up to nearly $45 of profit overall. I don't want to close anything out. I want it to run because we've got an exit manager on here. And again, we are allowing the markets to breathe. We are allowing the markets to move. I'm trying to come up with a concept that is going to do two things, okay? One, you are going to implement what you need, the requirements to the proper risk ratio, risk management, okay? Two, when you have those parameters set, You are just allowing the markets to breathe and understanding that you've got this exit manager there, and then that's going to let and manage the trades for you. You can then just walk away from the computer and then just see what happens. If it comes through and smashes through all of those limit orders, okay, if it smashes through all those limit orders, whether they're buy limits or sell limits, and it goes to the SL, you've got the understanding that what you were wanting it to breathe on, okay, you have just constructively, instead of having the one entry at a 0.5 or a 1.0, you have broken what your allowance is for that day into a quadrant area of that breathable space. Okay, so I think by now you're getting the concept and how we're going with this. Again, I'll keep this video going. I'm gonna pause the video and we've gone through each stage of what's happened, and I'm glad that we've been able to see what's happening on here and what's happening on B, and we're getting both sides of the fence. Okay, so we'll see how this plays out. If it happens where the USD CAD just breaks through and hits all the SLs, no problem. We just carry on the test. This is about me being able to show you something that might find you your edge. Okay. After all, that's what this group is about, the Forex Fire group. It's about the years of experience that I've had. I'm not an expert at anything. Okay. I don't profess to be perfect, but if I can find an edge that's going to help towards getting someone over the line on a challenge or being able to sustain a level of consistency, because that's what this group is about. I base everything on 3 principles. It's getting your confidence. So if this is something you can get your teeth into and it works for you and it builds your confidence, if we forward test this enough and it's going to work on your consistency, okay, and you have that confidence that you've got the consistency, you can then understand that the profitability will follow, okay? And again, this way we could be taking the emotions out of the trading altogether, because I do believe when it comes to trading, one person's result is always going to be different to another, okay? And I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back a little bit later and we'll see what the sort of outcomes are. I don't want to be letting this ride too much because I don't have the exit manager running on a cloud server, and I don't want the computer running right the way through the night, as this is the first day of trading on the FTMO challenge and we need around about $500. I will possibly let this run for a few hours. We'll see where it takes us. We're either going to be here, we're going to have both the SL on just above the break even hit and smashed us out, and B, we're going to have the USD CADs either going to have us in a similar parameter or that's going to smash us through the SL. Either way, I'm going to show you what the end of the day results are, and this will be posted up into the Discord area. I'll also have this on the YouTube for anybody who's interested in getting involved on this sort of stuff. Okay, so it's going to be a good concept, and it's going to try and take some emotions out of the trading, to be fair. But more importantly, you're going to be able to sort of control what you're doing and have everything set your stall out, and you're going to be able to walk away from what you're doing and getting too involved by watching these profit losses. And again, everybody talks about smart money. This way you're edging everything up onto what we call a smart trading aspect. You're looking at what your risk management is. You're looking at what you can risk on a daily allowance. And then you're going to be seeing what on a 40 pip breathable market move is. And then you're going to section in your limit orders into that breathable space. Okay. On the concept that if we come in, this exit manager will sort of take control of the day-to-day running of your trades. Okay, it's just simply set and forget, and I hope that sort of makes sense there. So I'll be back in a short while, guys. Back in a short while. Right, guys, so I've got 3 trades set up for today. As an update, we went down and nearly touched into the 2nd or the 3rd buy limit. 1, 2 are ended. 1 nearly touched in. Okay, didn't quite get there. Now we're seeing a little bit of a retrieval move. Okay, we've got that is the USD card. Okay, we've got 2 up on here. two entries. Again, once we start moving into those profits at 20 pips, whether it's on this entry or this entry, then those entities will move in conjunction with whatever the exit manager says. The one on the far left, it was the first entry. It then went to 20 pips more or less straight away. It closed partial out, and then it moved the SL to just above the break even by 3 pips. So we got $22 there, plus a possible another just under $5, so just under $27 there. But that there could be hit with an SL or whatever on these two sides here. Okay, I've just entered on the Great British Pound USD. I've got these on a sell. Okay, I've got my parameters set where I've got the sell limit 40 pips of sort of drawdown, and within the 40 pips, because I've already got two areas already entered, I've lowered the lot size on the risk by 1.0. okay, not 0.10. If we go into 20 pips of profit on these ones, I've got moved to break even by 3 pips. Okay, and then I'm going to close a partial of 0.05 out on these trades. Again, that's the trade set for today. I do generally only look for 1 or 2 trades. At most, I look for 3 in a day, and that's it. Again, I don't want to be eating into the profits too much. Again, we are starting off early. This is early days. It's an early test. It's a forward test. We're going to see how this reacts. We're now starting to see the move of the USD CAD on this. It's a shame we didn't get this activated on here, but we'll see where we are in the next hour or two. All right, sorry about that before my phone went off. It was the wife. We're doing the school run. So update, right? USD Swiss franc, we entered a trade. It didn't go into any drawdown. It went lovely into 20 pips of profit. It's moved the SL to break even plus 3 pips, closed partial. Hence the $22 of profit what closed on the partial. At the moment, the rest of the USD Swiss franc at the moment is holding us at about $32. Okay, if it comes back and it hits us out on the just above the break even, we're still going to get another further just under $5 of profit. So that would have given us a payout of nearly $27. Okay, moving on to the second window. Okay, the USD CAD's been a little bit of a misbehaving raven at the moment. It's done what I would like it to have done. To be fair, it's going to incorporate what we've got in the levels where we've got the breathable area. It's tagged the second entry. It's nearly went and tagged the third entry. And as you can see on here, the USD CAD using the smart money concept of trading. Yes, we're in drawdown on this effort here, but the second one we've tagged the entry. It's now in around about $10 of profit. So overall, the dollars of profit on here, it only owes us about $1 or $2 based upon this structure here being in drawdown. So once the second entry, which is this one here, hits its 20 pips, it's going to move its SL to just above the break even area. So even if it comes back in, we're going to be factoring in and edging our sort of trades. So it's a smart trading aspect. It's not smart money. And this is going to be a concept I'm going to try and get everybody used to. The GBP USD, which is what we've just entered. We've got our factors. Because this is the third trade of the day, I'm not using lot sizes of 0.25. I'm using lot sizes of 0.10. Okay, now at the moment we only need $500 for a left TMO pass. We're nearly heading towards $100. We're $80 odd, and it's pushing. Okay, the concept we've got here, there's the trades going again. I'm going to pause the video. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Right, so I do apologize. So the GBP USD, the alarm's just gone off. Okay, it's hit a 20 pip of profit. I don't know why it hasn't moved this one, to be honest. I'm just gonna have to double check where I'm at, unless when I call this, it's sort of ended on a later. Let's have a look. 20 pip, that should have moved. Why hasn't that moved out? Let's take a look. Just going to get the exit manager over. Execute. Just going to load that up. We've got the challenge set. 20 pips, 3 above break even, take profit level 20 pips, lots to close. I want to close out 0.05. Okay. Right, I don't understand why that hasn't closed out. What I'm going to do, I'm going to manually have to do this one. So the GBP USD, I'll close that. And I close that one, move the SL to just above the break even. There, I think it's close somewhere there. We're now on £100 odd of profit on this one. That's moving nicely. Yep, we're moving well. Just going to look at the trade history. Closed USD Swiss franc. Closed partial of the GBP USD out. We are on $30 of profit at the moment. However, when you look at the overall, we're hitting around about $100 of profit. Okay, let's take a look. We'll let these run, guys. Again, I've got my oldest coming in any second from school. Again, remember, this is the first day of trading this way. We had around about £100 of profit at the moment. Just over a few hours of trading, we only have to get to 500. General consensus of it's working well. It's a smart trading concept. It's doing fantastic. It's now coming around about 3:10. From there, guys, we've got 2 trades which are running risk-free, in fairness, which I'm over the moon with. We're going to see what's happening with it. We've got all profits running. We've got USD card. It's closed. Should be 2 of them on a USD card. Yes, yeah, USD card. That's coming slowly up to the break-even area of the very first entry one. So you can see how the first phase and the second phase would now start to come. We've got a nice profit on that. Okay, so let's have a look. USD card. I'm going to get rid of that final buy limit on there. So now, if I move that to there, hopefully I'm getting the right. That was the wrong SL that I'm moving. I'm going to move this SL and that SL. So these should all now, in essence, be risk-free trades. Okay. Yes, I've moved one of the SLs on here to just above the other buy limit. But if it comes down, it's only going to be about a couple of dollars loss. Not going to bother me because we are in some good profits at the moment. I'm going to let these run risk-free. I'll come back on the video very soon after these have played out for a while, and we'll see where we are in the overall trades. Okay, guys, so I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi, guys. So because I can easily let these run on the trades, I can let these run. I need to sort of do the video for today. So I'm happy with where we're at the moment. So we've got over £100 of profit when I close this out of dollars. So I'm going to close these out. We're going to continue with this tomorrow. Okay, so just close these out. We've got 111 on the profit there. Okay, this was day 1 of the test of what we've been doing with the fire trades in the group, but also using a smart trading concept. Not smart money, we're using a smart trading concept where we're using a breathable space, and what you'll be usually using on your risk on the one entry, we're going to be staging it in if we go into the drawdown, because after all, your drawdown is going to be basically going to be hitting 80-90% of the time. You're going to be coming into some sort of drawdown. So I hope the session today has made a little bit of sense. Please drop your emojis and things like that in the Discord. If you need to have a chat about anything, if you're in the Discord, put it in the advanced area. Okay, put it in the advanced area, or put it inside the challenge chat. Okay, the challenge chat will be the best place to possibly put anything to talk about on this, not the advanced area, sorry. Put it inside the challenge chat to let me know how you've took this on board and things like that, because it is a good concept. It's a great way, and it's going to take the emotions out of the trading. Okay, guys. So in the challenge chat, in fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. Just going to share the screen. So in the challenge chat area, that'll be down the bottom underneath the members trade area, okay? Anything to talk about on this subject that I've just done now, please put it inside of here. Let me know what you thought about the video today. I do think it's going to take a lot of emotions out of the trade, in fairness, because you're putting your parameters in, you're putting your risk in, and you're just letting the trade do what it needs to do. I'll be following this up with possibly doing again tomorrow and seeing where we go from there. But again, allow me to do the forward test to see how this FTMO challenge goes with this particular concept, okay? But today it's been very, very good, okay? So I will see you all later on.